me falling right back.
So I looked back and realized I haven't even updated this tank in 3 months, which it hasn't even felt that long, but I guess it has been. And so I'm going to do another update on this tank today. So if you're new here, this is a 20-gallon Rimelss plant tank, and then we also have a 40-gallon that's also on the channel, so if you want to check that out, you know it's all there. But today we're going to discuss this one. And so apparently 3 months ago, last time I updated, and yeah, some has definitely changed. I've watched that video just to make sure, and so I know what's really changed since then. And mainly it's been growth, and I did a couple new things that I'm kind of trying out, except this will be the last year this tank will be set up like this before I have to move it. So I'm kind of trying some things. So also, if you're new here, at the end of the video I will kind of discuss, go a quick review of all the equipment. But if you want to stay for that, just wait to the end and I'll discuss all the equipment. But into the tank now. So right away, it's the Monte Carlo carpet that's definitely been the biggest thing change. As you can see now, the entire front has basically, well, this front part's basically been grown in since the last video. It's mainly this part. See how it's really getting full through the middle now, and it's actually going back, which I don't mind. I always planned it, at least for this scape, I always wanted to keep in the front, but I actually like the next tank is going to be all Monte Carlo, so it's going to be basically kind of like how it is now, but with just, you just won't see a substrate at all because the whole tank will be covered in Monte Carlo. But that's basically kind of what's happening now. It's kind of slowly filling up the whole tank, which I don't know, by the time I tear this down, who knows? I mean, we might have a full carpeted tank, who knows? But it'll definitely get pretty far on the back, I imagine. So we got it around here. It's starting to go in the corner, so it's starting to go towards this Bakupa back here, which is pretty cool. It'll eventually stop because obviously it's not going to get enough light to grow. Kind of like what it does with this strep-ins. It gets so far and then it stops growing because obviously the plant's covering with light. And then back here it's kind of the same. It's reached this far. So far it looks like it's getting a little farther back into there, but we'll see. I don't know. I doubt anything really gets back here, but we'll see what happens. So that's strep-ins. I did trim them really low last time, so that's why they look a little funky. They look kind of weird. You can see some are short, some are tall. I didn't trim it in a while, the last time I trimmed it, so the whole growth has been kind of weird, so I'm basically just letting it grow way back out and then, do an even trim on it. So it looks good again, but you can see this back's really getting really tall. It's probably 4 or 5 inches. And then, yeah, all this is starting to get really, this thing's getting really wide, as you see. You see the yellowing, that's because of when I trimmed it, obviously the leaves below it aren't getting light, so that's kind of what happens when you have a plant like this. But you can see how wide they're getting and how close they are getting to the glass. So we'll see if it gets in the way of things. I will have to trim them, but this S-Repens is getting huge. I really like when I get S-Repens. I always do this bush effect like this, and I've always liked it. And this one goes all around this rock, so it kind of makes a cool little effect. But yeah, I have to definitely keep an eye. You can already see a new one popping up, so it'll eventually probably get way in this corner, which we'll just keep growing. Might as well. At this point, we're kind of just experimenting with things because this will be the last time it'll be set up like this. And then we got the Java Fern narrow leaf. Been basically the same. I trim off leaves here and there because sometimes like this it gets a little far out. I kind of like to keep it. I don't know, this plant's kind of weird. I never really liked having this plant in here, but it's in here, so I just always kept it. I really don't want it in here no more. It's definitely not going to be in here in the next scape, but it's whatever. It does its job. It's a plant. But I do like to keep these leaves out of the way and stuff, so I might trim this one and then maybe a couple of these just so it keeps vertical. And then the Baku back here basically never really changes. We did have some bronze coloring at the tip, which is always a good thing. When Baku is really healthy, at least this species in general, they get little red bronze tips, which look really cool. It hasn't done it in a while because I did kind of trim low too. I did a big trim not too long ago, like a month ago, so But yeah, you can see it's already getting tight. The tank, I need to fill the tank back up. Haven't I haven't filled it up since the water changed last week, so that's why the tank does look so gray right now. But it's fine. But you can see the coloring at the tips. You can actually see it kind of in the video how it's dark green, then it gets a little bit of yellow at the tips, and then it starts turning. Once it does that, then it kind of turns this brown color. But you got to leave it in there for a long time. Without CO2, it kind of takes a while for that to happen. But it does happen. It does look cool. But I never get to keep it like that because I have to trim it at some point because this thing gets like 20 inches long and it just has to get trimmed. And then right here we have the Nana Peep. And this thing, it never looks like it grows, but it actually has an insane growth. You can see like it's getting so tall now. Now this thing's like growing up the rock. You see on the leaves. I mean, there's probably 100 leaves right there. But definitely in the next shape, I'll probably try to keep this and, you know, clip it up and use it all over the place. Because I'll have way more rocks in the next one to shove this in the crevices and all that. So it'd be kind of cool. Now, if you notice now, the difference is now we have some plants over here. So it's just the same plants. But I want to try out, I want to see in this little corner, like this little L right here. I just want to try to see if I can get like a similar thing right here. Not too tall, it's probably more a low profile than what this it is, because this is really tall. So I'll probably only let it grow maybe a couple inches tall. But I have a couple pieces of just trimmings that I had. You could tell this one's obviously more healthy and newer. I just planted this one that's long ago. So this one's already been growing, so I'll see what happens right here. I think it will look nice, but we'll just let this all grow out. More than likely, this Monte Carlo will die around it, but I think it'll be kind of a nice little touch. It'll make this, just make it a little different, changing some things up. You know, sometimes looking at the same scape is not always fun, so just trying some new things. And then back here, now Bakuba is a background plant, so it's more tall. It's going to look better in the background, but I thought if I keep it trimmed, let's see. You see I have like 3 or 4 little trimmings planted right there. You know, my plan is, I think if they grow, I won't let them get real tall, but maybe, again, like a couple inches. I think it'll really cool if I can try to make a bushing effect. Kind of like, not really like this, but like, if you trim a plant a lot, you know, it's really going to get bushy. It's really going to stay low. And I think that's what I'm going to try to do with these over here. They'll get pretty tall, and then I'll try to keep trimming them and just keep it a low profile and see if I can create some cool little effect in that corner just to make something. You know, we're just trying things, but I think it will look good as long as I don't let it get it too tall. It'll look fine, but just to change some things up. And plus, I'm sure the fish enjoy having new plants to hide in and all that. I know the autosynchus really like it. They like playing in it, especially nest ribbons. They like playing in it. I got a big school of like 20, 25 in here. Never looks like there's that many in here, but there sure is. You see a lot of them group up. There's about 4 or 5 right here. And then, I guess now we're talking about livestock. Yeah, we got autosynchus, a big group, 20 plus. Got a school of neon tetra, just one little school. And then we got a bunch of, I think, I'm linking out the names of these snails. You guys will know what they are. Oh, Rasbora. These are Rasbora snails. And so you can see right here, they're really cool. When they get big enough, they get really cool. They get like cool colors like purple and pink. But they were here before because when I had the Amazon puffer, that's what I fed it. And except the puffer wasn't here no more to eat them all. They basically just started populating, and then I just kept them in here. Obviously, they do a great job of keeping the algae away, but you can see these rocks. That's what's been really changing. I stopped dosing my XL, which was kind of a bad thing because now, you know, you get a little bit of algae growth on some of these rocks, but most of it's dead algae. It just stains the rocks, so now the rocks are just green, and I've tried scrubbing them off, but it just doesn't work. But it's just what it is. When I go to rescape this, I'll definitely power wash all these so they look nice and clean, nice and new again. But yeah, I mean, if you want to know anything else, I mean, I dose, the only thing obviously the XL, like I said, and then I do every couple of weeks dose some easy green fertilizer from Aquarium Co-op, which I'll probably be changing the fertilizer to ADA, just so I can have, because with the next plants I'm planning on doing, I don't think an all-in-one's gonna work very well. It already doesn't work well with, you know, some of these plants like the Java Fern. this gyrofern definitely needs more potassium, and I don't have. I'm not really feeling like buying just potassium right now. So eventually, when I reset this tank, I'll get all new ferrets, and so I could have. So if I do need to dose more of something, I can if I need to. So I know red plants and more iron, so I'll have to definitely work that out in the next tank. But I do plan to have some type of a red plant, maybe a couple, and do some type of green stem plant, maybe Bakupa again, I don't know, Rotella, it just all depends. But, well, for one thing, the red threapins and the peat is definitely staying in this tank for the next scape, and the Monte Carlo. The background plants, I don't know yet, it just all depends. But, so a quick run through, I don't want this video to be too long, so a quick run through. If you have any questions, I'll, please ask in the comments, I'll answer anything. So the light is a Finex SE Planet Plus. It'll run you about 130, 140. We got an Eheim skimmer, which I just turn on about every water change just to get the surface pretty clean. Then we're running a fluid heater. Obviously, it's got an extra air still running in the tank. Nothing wrong with that. Always good to have extra irritation. And then obviously we're just running 2 hanging backs aqua clears. One's a 50, one's a 30. This just holds just biomedia only, and then this one holds all sponges only, and then with some peaky filter on both of them for water clarification. So that's about it. Simple setup. Looks great. It's the best tank I've ever set up, but obviously we're gonna do something even better next time we set up this tank, and we'll obviously have all kinds of playlist and a series for that when we do that. But other than that, if you have questions, let me know, and I'll see you guys next one.